All right, let's get to the defensive front, Billy. Corey Bethley is a guy that was very productive last year with 9.5 tackles for loss and 5 sacks. Otherwise, it looks a little spotty in regards to what's coming back along the defensive front.
Yeah, so if you watch the draft, Ben Banigou was in the second round pick by the Colts, second or third round pick, but he went 50th. So yeah, second round pick. And then LJ Collier was a first round pick by the Seahawks. So CCU had two defensive ends win the first 50 picks of the NFL draft this year. So you have to replace those two. Now you mentioned Corey Bethley returning as a junior, had an impressive year last year. He gets his right hand man in Ross Blacklock back, was a freshman All-American, tore his Achilles about this time. No, it was in August. Last year, right before the season started. So they played without him all last year. He's been fully cleared to recover, return to football activities now. So he's backlisted top of the depth chart. 6'4", 330 pounds. And I'll take the over on the 330. The dude is just a monster, just a totally athletic freak. So Bethley and Blacklock up the middle, you feel great about that. At defensive end, this is where things get interesting. Shameik Blackshear is a defensive end who played at South Carolina. Some was okay, not super great, but he's already listed as a starter. He just got to campus yesterday, or earlier last week. So he hasn't played at all this spring, but TCU, Gary Patterson believes in him enough to put him at a starter already. Having that SEC, that grad transfer experiences must be huge to him. On the opposite side is redshirt freshman O'Shawn Mathis. I have not heard as much hype about a player ever from Gary Patterson. They're already building him as the next. If you go ways back in TCU, Jerry Hughes was a first-round pick. He's made a lot of money from the Buffalo Bills now, still playing for them. They've built him as the next Jerry Hughes, the next first-round top 15 pick defensive end from TCU, and he's played 4 games. So I've never heard this much hype around a dude, 6'5", 235. When he played last year, he was an absolute monster. They wanted to rest him and keep him get that redshirt eligibility. But he is going to be a freak and a guy to watch for. Also, his number is 32. And I believe if you're a defensive end with a weird number like that, you're going to be a star. So keep an eye out for O'Shawn Mathis this year. And I just always trust Gary Patterson when it comes to defensive ends. Like I said, put 2 in the first 50 picks in the NFL this year. This guy, again, Blacklock could be a first rounder. If he didn't get hurt, he probably would have left early this past year and been a first or second rounder. He's a guy that could be a first or second rounder again this year if he can stay fully healthy. I just trust Gary Patterson and what he does with the defensive lines. They're going to be top 7 in the country in sacks again, like they are almost every year. Those are the guys that you're going to know that you're going to keep an eye on. The guys that you haven't heard of before, Adam Plant is a true freshman. Now, that name might sound familiar because he signed with Arizona last year, but didn't want to play for Kevin Sumlin, so literally didn't even bother showing up. Got out of his signature, went to junior college there last year, and now he's here. But he didn't play, so he still has a freshman eligibility football-wise. So it's a whole jumbled mess there. But he is 6'5", 245 as a freshman. He's going to be an absolute monster defensive end. Also, expect him to start next year opposite O'Shawn Mathis when Shameik Blackshear graduates and goes away. This defensive line is going to be great. If you just look at it, if you're not a TCU fan, you're like, oh, there's a lot of questions there. Not a whole lot of experience coming back from last year. But remember, Blacklock was a freshman All-American who got hurt. And I just trust defensive ends in TCU system. Just always do.
Plant comes out of Bishop Gorman, produces a ton of football talent there. I love your theory on the weird numbers for the defensive ends in particular, because I'm gonna have to test that theory up into the double digits. You see a 9, you see a 5, definitely 32. I'll trust you on that one. Blacklock, nice little season 2 years ago, 6.5 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. Blackshear, yes, the name was very familiar when I saw that. Checked him out on South Carolina. 27 tackles for loss, 1 sack for the Gamecocks. So nice little defensive front for TCU potentially, but of course the productivity in question in regards to track record. But Blacklock coming back from the absence from last year is huge, obviously.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, go to it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Blacklock was, like I said, was a true difference maker his freshman year. He was just an absolute disruptor in the backfield. And it's weird hearing those stats, 6.5 tackles and 2 sacks or whatever. You can't really trust stats with the defensive tackles because they are just causing mayhem. Unless your name's Aaron Donald, you're just a havoc inducer. And that's what Blacklock does. He takes 2 guys so Banigou can be free and get a bunch of sacks. There was a game where TCU had a player get 7 sacks in a game a couple years ago against Baylor. It's just what he does, what he can do. And by clogging the middle is so important. Having that presence back this year should make for a monster year for O'Shawn Mathis, number 32 on your defensive end.
We will be checking him out.